Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How you doing?
So what is this?
It's a rare SMG 4-barrel spear gun.
Is it yours? I mean, is this something
It
that
is
you,
mine.
Is it something that you actually use, or?
Yes, I've used it quite a bit.
So what do you fish with this?
Anything that looks tasty and is legal to shoot.
Okay, I went sea bass fishing. I just used a pole.
I came to the pawn shop so I could sell my Johnson SMG 4-barrel spear gun. So I can use the money to repair my boat so I can get back out spear fishing. I'd like to get $7,000 for the spear gun. Without the boat, I can't fish, so I can get another spear gun, just not a boat.
This is pretty cool. Is this something that you typically would use in a boat, or is it something you'd actually be like scuba diving?
You'd be, scuba diving or skin diving. It fires underwater.
So what can you tell me about it?
This is from the 60s and 70s, made by Tapmatic Company. Out of Costa Mesa, California, they had a single barrel, a 2-barrel, and a 4-barrel. And the 4-barrel is the most sought-after one.
Well, I can understand why you would want a 4-barrel. I mean, if you shot a shark and didn't kill it right away, I'm sure you want another shot.
It's nice to have an extra shot. It sure is. And also good if you get a fish and then you see one that you like better, you've got another spear and, ready to go.
Is it spring-loaded, or?
No, it fires with 22 caliber nail gun blanks.
Can you show me how it works?
Sure. Okay, what you'll do is you have the cartridge adapters like these that a 22 will fit in. Then you load those into the back here, rotate the chamber to the next one, load it, rotate it, load it, then you're ready to go.
Similar to a Gatling gun.
Yep, except it fires underwater and a Gatling gun will probably screw up badly.
So what are you looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get $7,000 out of it.
You know, buddy, I'm born and raised in Nevada. It's a landlocked state. These don't come through here very often. We got, could be nothing, could be a major, major issue for me here. I don't know if this is considered a gun. My license allows me to buy antique firearms, but I'm also allowed to buy nail guns that uses the same exact cartridges that this thing would use. So I don't know where this falls. I am gonna have to give my buddy a call, have him come down here and take a look at it, tell me what it's worth and if it's a gun or whatnot.
Okay.
All right, so hang out and I'll get him down here for you.
Okay, thanks. I love the idea of an expert coming out to see the gun. This gun is so rare, the more you can find out, the better.
We've got an old blunderbuss here.
Almost. This thing is cool. Wow. So this was known as a Johnson SMG Mark IV spear gun or harpoon gun. These were really rare because the company only existed for a few years. And then actually the rights were sold off to a company in New Zealand, but it no longer had the US name to it anymore.
Gotcha.
There's a collector market just for these outside of its utilitarian use as a spear gun. So back here, you can see the maker markings. So Johnson was the designer. The submarine gun, that's why it's SMG, it was made by a company called Tapmatic, which is Costa Mesa, California. So all of this checks out. No question, this is one of the American-produced ones, not one of the New Zealand ones, so it's much more valuable, and it's in excellent condition. At the time that these came out, they were considered the most powerful spear guns in the world because as opposed to using rubber bands, they used 22 caliber wadded blanks. So essentially, they were using the equivalent of a firearm charge.
Which brings me to my first question. Am I allowed to buy this?
I would say probably not.
Okay.
Now, the reason is the legal definition of a firearm in the United States laid out by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is any weapon that was designed or could be readily converted to expel a projectile by action of an explosive is legally considered a firearm. Now, there are exceptions. Anything made before 1899, so 1898 and earlier is considered an antique. That's not a firearm. So that being said, you couldn't buy it. I, however, have a federal firearms license. I can buy this type of thing, but I would really love to see it work. Have you fired it?
I have fired it both underwater and on land, too.
Well, we have a range here out in the desert. I mean, is it something that you would come and do?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll have some fun with it.
Cool, guys. I'll meet you out at the gun range, and I'll be a happy spectator.
Awesome. Well, it's nice to meet you, Rick. I'll see you at the range.
I guess I'll bring my dad if I have to.
I think he'd like it a
Appreciate
lot.
it, man.
All right,
Thanks for coming in.
Corey.
My best advice for the shop is not to buy this because I don't want them in any kind of legal trouble by mistakenly buying a firearm. But these spear guns don't come up for sale often, and I'm pretty interested in it.
This is so cool looking. So this is a spear gun.
It is SMG 4-barrel spear gun.
So can you shoot a shark with this?
Yep, you could. Very easy.
So looks like it's all ready to go.
Yep, I just have to put the cartridges in and we'll be ready to fire it. It fires by 22 caliber nail gun blanks that are slid in through the breech. Then you put the spears down the barrel.
The spears would be different for underwater use, but for dry air use, we're using carbon arrows. To keep within the spear gun theme, I set up a large shark balloon, and it's a little windy, so it's actually like a bit of a moving target, but at least we get 4 chances at it.
Okay. I'm not gonna shoot that thing until I see someone else shoot it a few times.
Well, I came out here with the purpose of shooting this to see if it's something I want to buy, so I guess I'll shoot it.
Okay. You want to cock it? Yeah.
So
the
now the
safety off?
safety's off?
The safety is off.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna stand back a little bit.
Oh my gosh, this thing is awesome. Rick, you gotta try this.
All right.
But you gotta wait. I got another balloon. I'll put it up right now.
All right. I guess this is the safety position.
Yeah, safe as it's going to get, I guess.
Not like when I was kids and we'd shoot an arrow straight up in the air and see who ran first.
Have at it.
All right. All right, here we go. Oh, come on.
This spear gun was really cool, unique, very powerful, way more powerful than I realized. And it actually hit the target, so I can only imagine how lethal that thing would be underwater. I'm gonna try to buy it.
It's so Buck Rogers.
I've never seen anything like it. Alex, what do you think it's worth?
I did find a little research that one sold just like this about 10 years ago for $7,500. But there is no question in my mind after using this that this should legally be considered a firearm. That means I'd only be able to sell it through an FFL process, which is more complicated and it limits the market. So for me, you know, I would like to own it. I think that if I were to offer you $2,000, I think that's a pretty fair price.
2,000's, very low. I couldn't accept 2,000. I mean, I'd be a player more in, say, 6,
I could come up to 3,000, but that would be it.
I do need to fix my boat. Could you do like 4,500?
It's weird watching this, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Doesn't feel right.
I'll give you 3,250.
4,000.
3,250, it's fair.
You'd feel really good about $4,000, I'm sure.
I won't feel good about 4,000, but
Eventually you will.
All right, 3,500.
3,750.
Oh, come on, 3,500, you're right there.
3,500.
All right, fine.
All right.
Cool.
Deal.
Deal?
Okay.
You own it.
It was worth something.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have gotten a little more money, but I'm okay. I can fix my boat.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it,
if
Rick.
you ever want to learn to dive, come, look me up and, bring that thing with you. And
It'll probably cost me as much to learn the dive as I spent on the gun.
How you doing?
Good, how are you doing? I have something to show you.
What do we got?
Well, I think I have the deadliest item that's ever walked through your door.
That's just a key.
But what is it a key to?
What is it?
It's a Russian ICBM launch key.
Seriously?
It is.
What's an ICBM?
It stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. It would launch a thermonuclear weapon, which is the most powerful. It's the most powerful weapon on the Earth. people first see the keys, I usually describe them as the keys to the end of the world as we know it. I came to the pawn shop today to see if I can sell the keys to secure a donation for the Cold War National Memorial.
Where in the world did you get this?
Russia.
The gentleman that I bought them from is a very good friend of a very famous Russian major general in the Soviet Union. He's over the cosmonaut school.
So can you tell me anything about them?
They're either sets of keys to land-based, submarine, or mobile launch components. They would have 2 people assigned to launch them. They would put the portal to enter the key further than arm's length, so one person couldn't fire them. It would take 2 people. Everyone that's actually held these keys, there's a real creepiness about it because you realize what they would have unleashed, the cataclysmic event that would have happened and unfolded. It's mind-boggling. It's more than what your mind can wrap around.
I'd say if these are real, there's no question of their importance. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. One turn of these keys could have destroyed the world, and now they're sitting in my pawn shop. And Chum's got one.
You know, my problem is they look pretty simple to make. It's aluminum. I mean, the thing that scares me about this, I could make this myself. I have a mill and a lathe in my garage. So do you have any paperwork on these?
Yes, well, I have some things that kind of go toward the validity of them. I'm actually getting them. They're being sent to me.
What do you want to do with them? You want to sell them? You want to...
Oh, I'd like to sell them.
Okay, how much do you want for them?
I was thinking somewhere along the lines of 10,000.
Okay, let me have someone look at them, man. I got a buddy who might know something about them. Let's get someone in here. Let's look at this. Let's try and get this figured out.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'm the administrator of the Clark County Museum System. Well, Rick tends to call me in when he comes up with some unusual items.
Any idea?
Haha, yes. These are nice. They're launch keys. Russian. So what is it that you want to know about them?
My problem is they look pretty simple to make. I could make this in my garage.
Have you ever worked with titanium?
I've worked with plenty of aluminum. I can make that out of aluminum like
Well, out of aluminum you could, but if you made this out of titanium, you've got a bigger garage than anyone that I know, and you've got some really heavy machinery. Titanium is really hard to work with. They had to use titanium because of the amount of heat that was generated in their system. And interestingly, we bought some of the titanium from Russia through intermediaries for our top secret programs.
Okay.
So they had the sources of the titanium. A lot of folks tend to think that they were used for like ICBMs and nuclear missiles and that sort of thing, but no. They were used for launching spacecraft, you know. So.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, the town Baikonur, where the Cosmodrome was, where all the space flights came out of, on their city seal for quite a while, they had one of these keys. They were so well known that it was part of the city seal.
That makes complete sense because the major general that secured these for us was actually over the cosmonauts. He is famous. He's a national hero. He was launched himself, and he taught there.
On the one hand, they're not ICBM keys, and that stinks. On the other hand, they're Soviet shuttle launch keys, and that's amazing.
Okay, so they're still probably a pretty rare item?
Oh, exceedingly, yeah. They are rare because there were a lot more ICBM keys out there than there would be spaceflight keys. In my mind, much more interesting piece of Soviet history.
Well, thanks for coming by, Mark.
Not a problem, and I have to tell you, Rick, you come up with the weirdest stuff to ask me to come down and take a look at. Don't mind it, but you do.
Now that I know what these things really are, I got to admit, I want them even more. Being space launch keys, there's a strong possibility they were actually used.
So what do you want to do with these? Pawn them? Sell them?
Actually, I'd be willing to sell them for 10,000.
It's one of those things where it's really going to be difficult to market. You know, they're very, very interesting, but it's just a different crowd of people I'm going to have to sell it to.
Understood.
That's why I'm thinking, I would give you like $1,500 for it.
1,500, huh?
It's $1,500, and I am taking a complete crapshoot here.
Okay. I'll keep it.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Thank you. Actually, I'm really happy they're not ICBM keys. They're a lot less creepy, and they're still very, very significant. Now, when it's displayed at the Atomic Testing Museum, we'll know what they were actually used for, and that's great.
Hey, what do you have here?
I have some clothes you might actually be interested in. They're from a little popular documentary, maybe you've heard of it, called Tiger King.
Tiger King, crazy show. Boy, was it fun to watch.
I'm at the pawn shop today to try and sell my wardrobe collection from the popular series Tiger King. I have 4 jackets, 2 hats, and a shirt. They were worn by Joe Exotic and Jeff Lowe, and they're in the documentary. I acquired these items from a friend of Jeff Lowe himself. He offered to sell them to me, and I had to have them. I'm hoping to get $7,000 for this Tiger King wardrobe.
This is awesome. Tiger King. It's a pretty crazy phenomenon. I mean, I think it did over 34 million views in 10 days. I mean, this was huge. Joe Exotic just had this wild, bigger-than-life personality. It was about Joe Exotic basically wanting to eliminate his competition in Carole Baskin, and he later ended up getting arrested for it, and now he's doing 22 years in prison.
Oh yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Let's take a look here. So this jacket's really cool. I mean, it looks like it has some wear and tear on it, maybe like a tiger claw or something like that.
Absolutely. This was actually clawed right after this picture was taken.
Oh, you have some pictures here? Let me see. Okay, we got the lion in the background, and we got this jacket here. Who else would wear these besides Joe himself? Here's the hat. Same hat there. Okay, here's the magic jacket right here. Well, that's pretty cool. You have the pictures there with them. I definitely recognize those pieces from the show. And how much are you looking to get?
I was hoping to get $7,000.
Okay. It's hard to determine a value for this stuff, you know? Because, I mean, it's not like there's a market for Joe Exotic worn clothes out there. It's a freaking pop culture phenomenon right now. There's just no telling how it's going to hold up against time. I just don't see $7,000. The most I could be in it, $3,200.
That's a lot lower than what I was asking.
It is, but it's just one of those things where just because it's cool doesn't mean it has tremendous value.
I think it's iconic, and it's gonna have its moment in time for a while.
You know, you could be right. I could be kicking myself in the butt in a year's time, but I'm gonna have to pass on it for the $7,000. Thanks for bringing it in, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm disappointed I couldn't make a sale today, but I'm pretty sure I can put it online and get what I'm asking for. It's very popular.
Hey, how can I help you?
Check this out.
You have a piece of a $20 bill.
It is a piece of a $20 bill from the D.B. Cooper hijacking. He jumped out of a 727 in November of 1971 with $200,000.
This is cool. The only hijacking never solved. This is one of the holy grails.
I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my $20 note from the D.B. Cooper hijacking. I've had the note for a while, and I could really use the money. I'm hoping to get $2,000 for it today, and the least I would take is probably about $1,800.
Do you know a lot about D.B. Cooper?
I do.
Do you think he's still alive?
I do not.
Okay. I don't think he's alive either. It was 1971. There was a plane flight. He gave the stewardess a note saying he had a bomb. He demanded a parachute and $200,000 in cash. They landed, gave him what he wanted, took back off, and he jumped out.
Exactly.
But he also jumped out in the middle of a storm at 10,000 feet where the wind chill was like 70 degrees below zero.
It's the only unsolved hijacking in world history. No trace of D.B. Cooper's ever been found, and he could be sitting on a beach someplace.
They don't even know his real name because back then you didn't need to show a driver's license when you bought an airline ticket.
Nobody knows exactly what happened. It'll go down in history for hundreds of years.
This is one of the craziest unsolved mysteries ever. This guy is a legend, and despite a serious investigation by the FBI that's still going on, he's never been identified or located. So how did they actually determine that this was part of the money from D.B. Cooper?
Well, they had the serial numbers from all of the money, and even though this bill doesn't have a serial number on it, it was found with the bills that did have the serial number on it. The initials that are on this bill are actually the FBI agent who was cataloging all the pieces of the bills. And I've got a certificate of authenticity.
All right, and PCGS is more or less the gold standard when it comes to this stuff, so it's all legit. How much do you want?
I really want $2,000. Some of the larger fragments go for way more money than that.
But there's also the possibility that they find the other $194,000 and the price of this will go to nothing. I'm thinking like $1,000.
No, I really got to get more than that. I was thinking that 1,800 was going to be my lowest.
God, it's just a weird market. This is one of those things you just can't look up in a book. How about $1,500?
It is a really rare thing. I really got to have 1,700.
Rick, go ahead and split it at 1,600.
1,600 is a little low.
No, it's not. That's what we can pay.
All right,
All right.
you have a deal.
All right. I'll meet you right up front.
Thank you much, sir.
Thank you.
I feel like I just hit the jackpot. Of all my years of doing this, I've never seen anything like this in the shop, ever. Collectors will be lining up around the block for this thing. But to be honest, I kind of want to keep it for myself.
You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Holy.
That thing looks fast.
You think you can drive this thing, chum?
Hell yeah.
Now all we gotta do is grease you up. We'll just stuff you in there. Today I came up here to the pawn shop to try to sell my dragster. They closed down the drag strip in the high desert, so I'd like to see someone get the car that could use it all the time. I'd like to get 30 grand for the dragster and trailer.
So let's wheel this thing out and take a look at it.
All right, let's do it.
Drag racing became popular in the 1940s with GIs returning from World War II. But those cars were just street cars souped up for racing. Now we have cars built just for racing, and they're fast.
This thing was built for me.
This thing would have to be built around you.
Yeah. What do you think?
Thing is nasty, dude. Looks fast.
Very fast.
What's top speed on this thing so far?
190. Yeah, it's a rocket, all right.
Where did you get this thing?
I traded a blown alcohol car that was just way too fast.
Okay.
It was kind of scary.
So 190 miles an hour isn't too fast.
No. Anyway, it's got NASCAR heads on it, small block Chevy. It's all computerized. This is a mirrors frame. This is a $10,000 Mark Williams rear end. It's got the best of everything in it. It's beautiful.
How much you selling this thing for?
Well, the dragster cost $60,000 to build. I'd like to get $30,000 or best offer out of the dragster and trailer.
While there might not be a huge market out there for dragsters, the people who do collect them are willing to spend a lot of money.
Listen, I don't know enough about this to even make you an offer on it. I got a buddy who knows all about these things. If we can run it up to the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and have him take a look at it before we even start talking numbers.
We can do that. You can run it down the track if you want.
Load it up, guys. I'm going inside.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Rick, good to see you, man. How are you? I'm president of Nevada Classics and Shelby Cars Northwest. I'm an expert in classic and performance cars, as well as drag racing. So this is the beast, huh?
That is the beast. I've never had one of these things before, so I don't know anything about it.
This is a Super Comp dragster. This particular car has got, looks like a small block GM V8. This car would probably run a 8.5, 8.6 elapsed time. That's the amount of time it takes from a standing start to get to the end of that quarter mile.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Unlike IndyCar and NASCAR, drag racing is limited to a quarter of a mile. It's 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds or more of very intense, extreme speed, and it happens really quick.
Is the car up to date?
It's going to need some work. It's going to need quite a bit of work. So the engine has been rebuilt recently.
Yes.
And is everything in certification?
The frame needs recertified.
How about the flex plate?
The flex plate needs recertified also.
Rick, this is kind of an old school style front end. We don't use the wishbones anymore. If you look at the roll cage, these have been added. These helmet pads on either side, these supports. But there's also supposed to be a support down here that I can't see, and it's supposed to connect the rest of this roll cage down to the base, and I don't see any evidence of that on this one.
So how much would it cost me to get it all up to cert and everything else so it's raceable?
You're probably looking at somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 to bring it back up to specs.
That much, huh?
But for a guy that is looking for a weekend toy, it's really not a bad little car.
Once you drive this, you're going to realize it's worth every dollar.
We'll see.
Now I know this car needs a lot of work. $5,000 to $7,000 is a lot of money, and it could have eaten away my entire profit margin. Don't get me wrong, I'm still very interested, but the price has to be right.
What I really want to do is I want to ride it.
I think that can be arranged.
Is this thing safe to drive?
Dragsters, generally speaking, are a lot more dangerous to drive than your average street car, but this one should, as long as you keep it pointed in a straight line, you're going to be fine.
Well, let's go take this thing to the track.
We've looked the vehicle over pretty carefully, and it appears to be solid. I don't think there's going to be any problem, but you really never know.
Well, after I drive this thing, we'll talk money. I just want to experience it and make sure it works.
Rick, in case anything happens, we got the fire truck over here, and we got an ambulance for you, so.
So if your heart stops, they can get it going again.
Okay. This is the fun part of my job. I just hope I make it out alive, because there's no way Corey and Chum could run the shop.
Quick, hey, we're just verbally agreed that I get your share of the pawn shop if anything happens.
Yeah, whatever.
I heard it.
You heard it.
Watch your head when you come back. Now stretch your legs out as
Yeah,
you
you
sit
got-
down.
No, you're in there.
Not up and down if you're scared. It's gonna be all right, Uncle Ricky.
All right, Rick, you ready? I'm gonna flip the switches, aim it straight, and go for it. It's all you.
That was awesome. Now I know how astronauts feel when they get launched into space.
Was that fun or scary?
A little bit of both. So, how much were you looking to get out of it?
Well, I'd like to get 25 for the car and the trailer.
There's just too much that needs to be done for me to even come near that. You're not even gonna like my offer.
No, what would be your best offer?
I'd go like 6,000 for the car and like 5,000 for the trailer.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
It needs a lot of stuff. It needs to be inspected. It's got an antique front end. It's just not there.
The cheapest you can get the engine build is like $30,000. The Mark Williams rear end costs $10,000. That ain't counting nothing else. Best I could do is I'd like to get at least 18 for the car and the trailer.
I'll tell you what, I'll go 12.
God, that's just giving it away. Be 16. I could do 16 for the car and the trailer. That's giving it away.
I just can't do it.
All right, well, did you have fun?
I had fun anyway, man. Thanks a lot.
I thought after he drove it, he'd see the potential in the dragster. And I'm really disappointed we couldn't make a deal, but that's the way it goes.
Don't hurt yourself.
You know these things are heavy, right?
Yeah, that gives you job security. I'm assuming these are yours?
They sure are.
You know what kind of chairs these are?
Yeah, so these are actually Christopher Guy. As you can tell, they are very high-end.
Okay. Takes a special kind of person to put this in their house. I mean, it's a little bold. You know, grandmas don't have this in their house.
Today I'm at the pawn shop trying to sell my pair of Christopher Guy chairs. I got these chairs a few years ago. They were my boss's, and he decided they didn't match his home, so he gave them to me. The minute you walk in a room, your eye gravitates towards them. I'm hoping to get $9,000 for the pair of chairs. If I make the sale today, I'm planning to take the money and put it towards a new puppy.
They're super cool. Actually, his name was Christopher Guy Harrison.
Wait a minute. Are you guys related cousins or something?
No, I don't think so.
No?
He sort of like shortened his name to Christopher Guy. But he's a really famous British furniture designer. Actually started off in the 90s, had a place in Beverly Hills. I mean, became really, really high-end, really famous. Unfortunately, passed away pretty young. He passed away a couple years ago. But his business is still there. They're still making the furniture. But like, this is what he designed. It was like expensive. And you gotta have a big house that's pretty bold to have stuff like this in it. So do you like the style?
I like it a lot. They're a little bit tall for me. Do you mind if I take a quick seat and see how comfortable they are?
You're gonna have to be really careful.
I will.
But you can take a seat.
I will. I will.
It's more form, not function. I mean, this is more like art than the chair you normally sit in.
I feel like a king sitting in this thing.
Or Alice in Wonderland.
They are comfortable, though.
They're super cool. So here's the big question. How much you want for them?
I'm asking $9,000.
It's not gonna happen. They're amazing. No, I absolutely love them. But there's definitely a market for it, a very small market. If I buy them off you, it's probably gonna take me a year to sell them. I'm thinking I'll give you $1,000 for the pair.
I'd like a little bit more than that.
Okay, 1,100 bucks.
No. I'm thinking 4,000.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you $2,000.
$2,000? Okay, you got a deal.
All right, sweet. He'll write you up right over there. Get you paid.
I think I'm sitting pretty at $2,000 for these chairs. So I'll take my money and go shopping for my new puppy.